Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I've got a lesson for you today on the Somali written script and pronunciation. I'm not going to go through all of the letters in the alphabet because it's quite easy to find a list of the Somali alphabet online, but what I will go through are some of the sounds in the Somali language which are difficult to pronounce for if you're a native English speaker. Somali does use the Latin script, the same as the script that we use in the UK, and it has done since 1972, so about 45 years Somali has been using that script. Before, there's been an Arabic script and a couple of other scripts that Somali was written in before. But, of course, there are some sounds in Somali that we don't have in English. So there need to be letters used in different ways, and so I'm going to show you some of those examples now. I'll go through the consonants, and then afterwards we'll go through the vowels. So, probably one of the most well-known pronunciation differences in Somali compared to in English is that the X in Somali is a ha sound. So the name Muhammad has an X rather than an H. It's a stronger ha sound. Muhammad, Muhammad, ha. Also in the word hawash, meaning like herbs or spices. Hawash. So that's the first one. The second one is the letter C in English. And obviously in English it's a k sound, but that k sound is only represented by a K in Somali. But in Somali the C is a sound. Just like in Arabic, the letter is called ayn. And so for example that's used in words like a'unta, meaning food. A'unta. It's also used in the word maga'a, meaning a name. Maga'igu, my name. Maga'. So there's the C used in those two, and it's an sound. The next one that I wanted to share with you is the ra. A r. It doesn't have a rounded r sound like we have in English. It's a r. It's a trilled r. Like at the beginning of the name Roble. Roble. It's quite a common Somali name. It means the rain. It's not an Islamic name. It's just a Somali name. Roble. Roble. So it's like a trilled r sound at the beginning. Roble. The next one, which people might find difficult, is there's sort of in written Somali there's like a DH together, and you know it's in different dialects it's pronounced slightly differently. Sometimes it's just like a slightly different d sound, maybe a little bit heavier than just a D. Sometimes it's like a r as well. So for example, mahada'ai means like what happened. Mahada'ai. It's kind of between a ra and a da. Mahada'ai, meaning what happened. Mahada'ai. Another one is something that maybe if you have Somali friends even in the UK, you might notice that there's sometimes a little bit of confusion between a D and a T. D and T. And they're very similar sounds in your mouth as well. D and T. D and T. They're both very similar, but in Somali, sometimes at the end of a word, if it ends with a D, it might sort of be mixed up with a T sound a little bit. D and T, like the word salat. Salat, meaning your prayers, meaning your salah. Salat, that's spelt with a D. Salat, but it's sometimes pronounced sort of a little bit of a T sort of sound at the end. So that's one which is sometimes mixed up a little bit, the D and the T, and that's something you should remember when trying to read Somali as well. Another one is one that's also difficult for those of you who may be trying to learn Arabic. It's a qa sound. It's like a k from the very back of your throat. Qa. It's like the word qois, meaning your family. So if you say qoiska kawarran, that means tell me about your family. Like how are your family? Qoiska kawarran. Qois, the qa sound. Also, you have a kh sound, which is represented by kh. Kh sound. Kh. Like in the word that also comes from Arabic. Khudrad. Khudrad, meaning vegetables. Khudrad. So those are the main consonants. We had ha, we had da, we had ra, we had kha, we had da and t, we had a, and we had qa. So those are the letters. Those are the 7 consonants that I wanted to go over, which some of you may have found difficult, and obviously I've got written examples up as well. I'm going to have them written in the description as well below. So now we'll move on to the vowels. The vowels are a little bit easier. Obviously, they're written in a similar way to what they are in English, but vowels in English are subject to all sorts of change depending on what dialect or where they come in the word and things like that. But in Somali, vowels won't change sound depending on where they are. The only difference is when they're doubled or when they're on their own. So an O is usually like an O sound. It's like quite an open O sound. And when it's doubled, I'll give examples for the doubling of the letters, and then for the singular you just shorten it. That'll probably be easier us to do it. So with a doubled R sound, it's not oo, it's an R sound. So like the word sar. Sar is a type of food. Google it yourself, or ask your Somali friends to maybe make it for you sometime, inshallah, because it's really, really nice, but in England we don't have anything like it, really. I mean, the closest thing that we have to it is probably like a tight mashed potato, I suppose, but it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that, but it's really nice. So sar with a double O, sar. Also, an A is an ah when it's doubled. Obviously, just ah when it's one. So like in the word Somali, meaning to be Somali, meaning Somali, Somali. Also, oo. Like an oo sound with a U, different to the R sound with an O, is an oo. So like in wu'anay, meaning he ate it or he ate. Wu'anay. And then the last two, they have the same vowels as we have in English, but they're just, sometimes made longer, but they're always pronounced the same. And there's E with two I's, E, and with two I's, and then E is air. Like in the word sided tahay. We went over sided tahay. Sided means how. When you say like how are you, sided tahay. Sided tahay. Sided, it's air sound in sided tahay. So that's all of the consonants and all of the vowels, which I think maybe some of you could find a little bit difficult. So hopefully that's enough. If you have any more questions, then please just put them in the comments below. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, then please like and share it, and please subscribe to my channel. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.